Hi, welcome to my channel. Can you see me? Oh, you can over there. Okay, let me just move this out the way a little. That's better, isn't it? But actually it's the proper mine. I wanted to talk a little bit about one of my pet subjects, and that is ukulele groups singing live and just staring at their song sheets. And you see it very often. And often, being as I'm a member of a ukulele group, other people post me videos of them doing concerts at, in special events, care homes, or whatever. And in most cases, the whole group is singing to their music stand. And, that's okay. And I see some quite good players and some quite good singers and quite good performances that could be really great if they actually made eye contact with the audience. And people who know me, who met me, know I kind of get a little bit on the high horse about this, but I am interested because I kind of care about it. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it today is I think I've started to uncover the reason why. And I've been playing probably ukulele now, probably about 6 years, I guess. Prior to that, I was been playing guitar for about 50 years. And there's a distinct difference between, well, certainly my experience and many other players' experience of learning the guitar, bass guitar as well, and probably even keyboards as well, as to someone taking up ukulele a little bit later on in life and the way that they particularly learn. And I mean, when I first went to my first ukulele group, I was presented, the music and the song sheets in a slightly different format. Certainly different to the way I was presented it in guitar. So I'm going to pop one up here now to give you an idea. And anybody who's played ukulele, certainly in the ukulele group, probably familiar with this type of format here, which is the lyrics and the chords, but they're all combined together. So for example, you'll get the chords in line, so you'll have your kind of lyric, as you can see above here, and the actual chords written in the same line. So the lyrics and the chords are incorporated within the same line throughout. Where if you look at a lot of guitar music, if you go to a website like ultimateguitar.com and search for lyrics and chord sheets, and they do lyrics and chord sheets not only for guitar but for bass and for ukulele as well, it's presented in a different way, in that you have your lyrics and the chords for those particular lyrics above the lyric line. So there's two lines for each bar of the song in general anyway, and they're separated. And one of the kind of unusual things is a bit of an anomaly with the guitar ones is the chords are not always perfectly in line with where the lyrics are, which can be frustrating, but there's also an advantage to that as well I wanted to kind of talk to you about. So if we go back to the ukulele way, and let's talk about that, because I have a theory that this is one of the main things that holds people up from being able to learn a song and get up and sing it unaided. In other words, without a song sheet in front of them. And it's something I'm very, very keen on, for players to be able to get up and know the song well enough and be confident enough to perform that to an audience and make eye contact with that audience, because audience expect that. Now, some of you may criticise and say, well, if you go and watch an orchestra, they're there with all of their music stands in front of them and all of their sheet music in front of them. And yes, I accept that. But an orchestra is kind of a different experience, because people generally are going along to listen to music alone, no vocal. It generally is a conductor who forms part of the focal point in there. And you'll often find that they'll keep the music stands fairly low, so you can see the violin players and the oboe players, etc., playing their pieces. And quite often with those guys, they do know the pieces. The music is there to kind of help them guide, because, they might have a 50-piece orchestra. They've got to make sure that's absolutely everything's right, because so many people are reliant on each other. And I think it's a different experience. Whereas if you go and watch somebody who's going to sing, so you go and watch, one of your favourite performers perform live, or when you go and watch Paul McCartney, for instance, don't expect him to have a song sheet in front of him. And most performers I go and see don't have that song sheet in front of them. They're playing from memory. They've learnt the song. Okay, they've probably written those songs. It's slightly different, but you can't kind of get my gist. And I certainly, when I'm doing performances, I learn the songs. Maybe a worst case, I might have a sheet of paper on the floor with some kind of crib notes, where things just to kind of remind me. But in general, I've learnt all the songs, and I need that really, because I need to see what's going on with the band, and sometimes help other members of the band. So I need to be absolutely confident in what I'm doing. So just coming back then to the music and the way it's presented, and I've got a feeling that the problem with a lot of people who I speak to at ukulele clubs will say, have you tried playing with that? He said, well, I can't. I absolutely can't. I've tried it. I'm totally reliant on the music. And my first question to them is, well, could you sing me Happy Birthday? And I say, yeah, of course I could sing you Happy Birthday. So you can learn a song. You can keep it in your mind, and you can know the structure of a song, and you can change the words on Happy Birthday to whoever's birthday it is at the time. So it's not that you can't physically do it or mentally do it. There's something that's blocking you from doing that. And one of the problems, I think, with putting the words and the chords together is your brain doesn't have to think about it. And it doesn't have to think about separating the two, because they really are, they're two separate things. Chord pattern and the lyrics are two separate things altogether, because the chord pattern is a constant. It cannot change. In 99.9% of popular music, the chord pattern has a particular formatted structure. So if we look at rock and roll music or country music, which kind of uses the 12-bar progression, you've got so many bars in the first chord and so many bars in the second chord, and so on. And once a verse is structured, the chord sequence repeats for the next verse and the next verse. Then you have a slightly different chord sequence generally for your chorus, but if the chorus repeats, again it's the same. And if you've got that kind of separated as you would in kind of standard guitar music, then you'll learn the chord sequence independent of the lyrics, because it's up to the singer how they sing those lyrics, and the singer might change the timing slightly and come behind the beats or in front of the beats, or elongate notes or shorten notes depending on the way they want to interpret the music. So in many ways the two shouldn't be together. You should have your accompaniment has got your particular structure as it goes through. And I think if we look at this kind of song sheet up here, and this is a typical one, I'm going to use Folsom Prison Blues as an example. You've got the chords exactly in place where the lyrics go. So one is the singer's got nowhere to go. They've got to follow what the music's playing, and they've got no way of as some singers will, they'll maybe put a pause or bring in the lyric quite late as they're trying to get some tension going. You've got absolutely no chance of doing that. And also the players themselves are almost doing a dot to dot or paint by numbers as they're following it through. And if you take the sheet away from them, you've taken away their ability to play it, because they don't know the chords. They've not learnt the chord sequence, so they've not learnt the lyrics. Whereas my view is, well, if you separate the two and start to focus on the chord sequence, and just scat sing something. So we take Folsom Prison Blues, you know, which the lyrics are, I hear a train coming, it's rolling round a bend. You could almost think, well, I'll learn a sequence. Let's say we're playing it in C, and we've got C, F, G, la 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 la. Now, once you've got the first sequence, that's the same for the second verse and the third verse and the fourth verse. There's 4 verses in that particular song. And, you know, once you've got the sequence of the first verse, you know all 4 verses. You just repeat that. And you need to focus on, can I play it and just la, la, la it and almost ignore the singer? Because, you know, once you're experienced at that, you know, I could, if it was me and someone asked me to play that song, I could sit there and play it and not even hear the singer because I'm playing the pattern of what's going on, and it's up to the singer to follow that pattern or interpret that pattern as they wish to. So I certainly think there's an issue with this style of putting down music, in that it keeps your brain it's not laziness, but it keeps your brain from separating the skill of learning patterns for the chords and the lyrics are something separate. And again, you know, if you learn the pattern, then you've got half the song done. Then you've got to learn the lyrics. And the lyrics differ from, you know, verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, but the chords don't differ. So you can be confident that you can play that. And if you can do that, that will make you a more confident player. However, even I fall into that trap. If I've got that style of music in front of me, I don't learn it properly. Whereas if I change it back to the regular pattern, then I start to learn it. That's kind of my opinion on it. So, you know, if it was me and I was running a ukulele club, for the benefit of the players, I would remove that style of music and introduce a style with a separate lyric, separate chord, and encourage people to start learning chord patterns. I'd be interested to kind of hear opinions on that, really. That's kind of my experience of that, and sharing a bit of my frustrations about it. So please comment below, or, you know, write in, let me know, and I'd be very happy to kind of interview anybody regarding that kind of subject matter. So that's the end of my ramble. I hope you've enjoyed that, and talk again soon. Thank you.